Hello, and thank you for joining me on 8. I am Maggie. I am multidimensional Maggie coming straight to you. And we are on day 42. Day 42. Woo, 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 day 42 of our momentum challenge. So it's just kind of a fun, interactive, multidimensional, momentum moving challenge. It's just words of encouragement that might spark the fire in you along your way. So we all have big things popping on 4th of July. We are in this container of this 90 days manifestation of something, we planted the seed. Was that April 4th? We planted the seed. And so it's for a dream. So whenever you're joining in, just join in. A wish, a dream, a purpose, an act of service, an imagination, whatever it is, just plant the seed. And I want you to just come with a fresh insight. This is it. This is it. Okay, so we're on day 42. And this is just very gentle. A very gentle reminder of kindness. So we can inspect on anyone's life and sort of judge things, but we just had that beautiful pink full moon, and she was letting us know how spring was here. And so now so much is going to be popping up across the globe in wildflowers and everything else. So we are just wishing all good things. So I'm just here. I'm not here to, take this as you may, but here we go. In this new spring, let us step over ants and let's put worms back in the grass. Let's rescue baby caterpillars, of course, the little chubby fat ones. They're like kind of our spirit animals. They're one of our spirit animals because they signify that just majestic, magical transformation that we are all in the process of. Release spiders back into the garden. Open windows for bees to fly home, and flies too. They are little souls that deserve a life too. Okay, so this is written by unknown. So this is just like, and I know a lot of you just live in this place, but since we are creating the new Earth social memory complex, sometimes people have never heard of multi-dimensional Maggie or wonderful you. And so we're gonna just keep planting the seeds because you just never know when that baby's gonna grow. So let's step over ants. Let's put worms back in the grass. Let's rescue baby caterpillars. Of course not, don't want to disturb a chrysalis, but okay. Open windows for the bees, even flies to fly home. They are all release spiders back into the garden. Open windows for bees or flies to fly home. They are little souls that deserve a life too. So I wanted to just share this with you too. It's fun how as you begin to come more into union with God, and it's like I always say, as long as I'm in skin, I'll sin. Like, don't ever put anybody on a pedestal, because as long as we are in the flesh, we will always have our shortcomings, but God will never fail you. So I'm not pretending to be some perfect person. I'm just sharing like little insights. And what I find I've always had a special place for nature and just the earth and just the seasons and just gratitude for the food that I eat and the sacrifices that can be made around that. And it was kind of interesting because as I watch my journey, as I come into union with God, the other night, my daughter found a moth in her room and it was flittering about, and usually there was not a moth in the room, and she was screaming and yelling, and usually the me that's usually scared too would have like kind of run in there and tried to kill the moth. I don't mean to kill the moth. I'm just saying we're trying to catch it. It's causing distress and don't know if we're going to be able to. But this time it's so funny as I walked in there, and I'm usually scared, cockroach, but I walked in there and I had this knowing that me and the moth were one, and that me and the moth, and I also know when the moth comes, somebody is visiting. So there was that level of reverence and knowing that somebody had come to visit us. But anyway, I had this also knowing that me and the moth are one. So let me go. And I've never been like that calm. And I was able to kind of shoo the moth out of the room, down the hallway, into the living room, and then out. Now it took actually the next day to get it out of the house. But he didn't have that sense of like angst. Oh my God. Now, of course, if you are getting overrun by termites or some other thing, and you have to set up your boundaries, you know, like Paralandra, she would work with the deva of each planet and plant and animal, and she would literally ask the plants, like when the Japanese beetles came over, they were just ravaging her plants, and she had talked to the deva of the Japanese beetle and told them, listen, you can go into these lanes and you can eat these, you know, plants. And then overnight, all the Japanese beetles moved to the plants and were devouring what they were allowed to. She also had like moles on her property, and they were making holes in all this stuff. And she made an agreement. She went out, made an agreement with the mole deva. And so she wanted to have like, I think about, it was 5 o'clock or something for the moles. She found a nice, beautiful plot of land on her land that she thought you guys could be happy here, and made an agreement with the mole deva. And anyway, it was so funny. Her and her husband were in the house, and the dogs started going crazy, and she wanted to have time to put the dogs away before the moles started moving. And then the road was rumbling and the house was rumbling, and she was like, what the heck is that? I don't know, she swears it up, but anyway, she next thing she know, the moles were walking down the road, and they were a little earlier than their time, but they were walking down the road to their new patch of land. So everything is alive. As I've said before, the universe has our back. Everything is in love with us. As Renee Garcia would say, my world is taking care of me. Everything is going according to plan. Things are working out beautifully and will continue to do so with ease. So the world's got our back. And because they got our back, we're going to get the backs of the ants and the spiders and the flies and the moths and whatever. So it's just a gentle reminder to be gentle, to be kind, and it's going to magnify some wonderful things back into your life. So happy spring. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Now would be the time now. Take your finger, hit the like, and then hit subscribe, and leave your positive comments. Tell me what acts of kindness that you're up to. Tell me about nature and how you love it. Or maybe you want to look up Dancing Under the Light of the Moon with about the Paralandra. Just look her stuff up at Garden. It's just amazing. But I just want to thank you so much. I really love our community here, and I love how the momentum of this challenge is moving. So that's the challenge. Be gentle, be kind. And I would be really interested to see what kind of interactions you might be having with the insects, animals, plants, trees. It's a really wonderful time to be on Earth. It's really obvious that we are not separate. We are one, and that we cannot harm one without harming all. So we are all awakening, and it's such a beautiful time to be alive. So I'm so grateful you're here. And as we were talking to about, you planted the seed in your wish, dream, vision, imagination, purpose, acts of service, whatever it is, it's coming on through. So be ready. Okay, you know what's next. Peace in, peace out.